Recording in progress, and I'm looking at myself right here. I need to trim this. Weird. I happen to see myself in the mirror every day. When I see it on here, it's like, clean this up. Okay, back to you. So, the semester started a week ago. Where have you been? Okay, we're doing a project. We're doing a project. Okay, so class today we did a project. All right, however, let me explain the project and then the little things I've done. So the project is, well, it's the Robert Frost project. But what I have my students do is they take 3 poems by Robert Frost and they break this poems up over a series of slides, and they got to pop in visuals that match up with what Robert Frost is trying to say. Why are you doing such an assignment? It requires work. 2, it still is relatively easy as long as some work is put in. It forces the students to consider the poetry of Robert Frost, which if I just said, read it, they would, but they wouldn't pay attention to it. Does this work? Of course not. I mean, for some it does, for others it doesn't. Just like, everything. So there's that. Then over the past little while, each day, I do a little mini lesson about poetry. So today's mini lesson is take time to think. And I put up a YouTube video in which they have 3 hours of a river cascade, I think they call it, and just the background sound. And my comment to them was that most of us are crazy. I know 3 people that I interact with frequently that have indicated they've lost their ability to read. They can still read. They can still read. But the idea of sitting down with a book and opening it up, they can't do it anymore. 3 people. And these are 3 academics. These aren't 3 people who, I read 1 book in high school and that's only, no, not those type people. 3 academics. How crazy is that? And I pointed out that even things like walking a dog, that, we take the dog and maybe we let it off because we're in a field and we take a stick, this is a stick, and we throw it. Instead of taking this moment right now, just and breathe in that fresh country air, we throw the stick and immediately pop to our phones. Poetry. Because a lot of us have lost our ability to read, poetry allows us a moment that we can take 2 minutes. It's like meditating, but take 2-3 minutes. That's it. Don't read a book, but just take a few minutes to read Robert Frost Birches. That's it. That's it. Just a slight break for your brain. Take time to think. Yesterday's lesson, one that I've done for years now, and it's an important one, that poems don't always have meaning. Now, there are 2 early reasons for that. Number 1, they do have a meaning. You just don't understand it. Number 2, they have a meaning. You can say the words of what it means, which you don't actually understand it. The first one's obvious. You just don't get the metaphors. The second one, a love poem, but you've never been in love. You hear the love poem. And for a lot of guys, 9th grade class, a lot of them think that, well, but an alpha male just goes up to a woman and like kind of just goes up to her and be like, so we're going to make out now? Because women want an alpha. No, they don't. Not like that. That's kind of uncomfortable right there. So yeah, don't do that. So you might kind of get the words of the poem, we don't understand the deeper meaning. Okay, those 2. But the third one, not every poem has meaning, especially when we're looking at musical poetry, songs. So I give them the example of Saplan Bourm, wah, 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 woo. Song's mostly gibberish. Well, it's because it's in a different language. Even in a different language, It's mostly gibberish. However, it's a fun song. Gets covered all the time by European bands, occasionally some American bands, but especially European bands. Why do they keep covering it? Because it's fun. A lot of music we listen to just because it's fun. It's upbeat. I don't know how many people have changed their lives because of the Black Eyed Peas, where they heard a song and thought to themselves, this is going to change my way of thinking. No. But I can't think of a Black Eyed Peas song. I mean, I know the one Tonight's the Night or whatever, but but I don't know any of the words at this moment, and I'll end up singing a different song. So just nod and say, oh yeah, Black Eyed Peas, that song. Yeah. Drinking my cup song. In a cup. Speaking of cup. Not enough creamer. All right. So that was the idea. And students need to know this because poetry can be frustrating. It really can. And they got to understand a lot of it. We can't understand it. We're not ready to understand it. And there's nothing to be understood. This is important to understand. Uh, then we began the week by reviewing the idea of what poets do. That sometimes poets are there to tell us about love and love lost. Poets are there to tell us about some social situation, to make us socially aware, social commentary, eve of destruction type stuff. 60s protest, 60s, 70s protest music, early rap music. And sometimes poetry is there to give us a shared human experience, that you're not the only one going through this. Whether it is about love, whether it's about misery, angst, you're not the only one. You're going through it too. And when you write, you let them have a window into your world. And even though they have no clue who you are, they needed to hear it. And that's a pretty important thing about poetry. So that's been this week. That's what we did. Was it a good week? Oh, heck yes. I've had 2 migraines this week. That was lame. Still have one right now, which is why I'm kind of not moving very much, because I'm worried that if I do, my head will fall off. It's livable pain. It's a lot of Tylenol, but I'll survive because that's what I do. Aren't you tough? No, I'm not. I'm a weenie. My head hurts. Although I probably should have gotten closer to the camera. I was way back here. Oh, and I still need to trim this. All right. On behalf of all the people that aren't in here, that's the week. I can't find the stop button. There it is. Okay, bye.